Welcome to the 1998 review of the Rhinos season, and what a season it was. At the start of the year when Graham Murray arrived, who could have thought what was in store?
Obviously Graham Murray's been here about 5 or 6 weeks now. He's adapting well to his training tactics.
Yeah, he's a good bloke, Graham. He speaks well, gets his points across, and you know, things aren't going to happen overnight, but certainly we're starting to come around to his way of thinking, and not too much should be read into the pre-season friendlies. If we can iron out all the mistakes in them sort of games, then you know, we'll be happy and just take things forward towards the Super League.
And looking forward to a good season under Graham Murray.
Made a very good season, hopefully. He's a great coach, and I've got a lot of time for him, and so do the other players.
And I think the boys are starting to understand that, you know, the way I want it to be played, and I think they agree with me as the way it should be played. Particularly that first 25 minutes last weekend wasn't much better than that. But we've just got to improve in a couple of areas. But as a general overrule, I'm very impressed with the way we're going.
And Warrington coming up first game of the season. What do you know about them?
Yeah, not much. I've seen them play in the tape against St Helens, and it was interesting to note Sean McRae give them a bit of a bag and about their infringing tactics. So we've just got to be on the job there to play the ball quickly and also to make sure that we hold the ball when we get up to play it. But they're a good side, and I think it'll be a very close competition. But we're here at Headingley, we're at home. They're going to travel over to us, and I just think that, you know, that first part of last week against Halifax will be in good stead for this game, and I think we'll get away with a win in our opener.
And confident for success during the season?
Yeah, I think we are. You know, I think the boys this weekend, we go away and have a bit of a goal-setting situation, and I'd like to think that the boys are thinking semi-finals and beyond. And if you're in semi-finals, you're winning a lot of your games, and that might not be the premiership.
Mate, I think initially it'll be very tough. Warrington will be hard to beat, but not only that, it'll be the kick-off of the season, so we've got to make sure we're on our ball. We haven't had too many successes in the past in the friendlies, and made that all hands on this first game, so there's a lot of pressure on us.
Underneath the push, moves the ball, Flaherty just powers his way forward. Again, just takes that ball another metre or so forward. And
Warrington short on the blind side.
Bit of a bad option there, but this could work out well because Blackmore's going through, and Blackmore's in for the first try of the season as far as Leeds are concerned, and he comes in and makes the angle short. Great try, Dean Bell.
That's right, a little bit of confusion there at dummy half from Mark Glanville, but he was aware enough to spot where Tony Kemp was. Tony Kemp had come across to the blind, and Tony sent out a very simple pass to Richie Blackmore, and he did the rest by crashing over for a good try.
It's a good start then for the Rhinos, just what we want there. 7 minutes on the clock, and Leeds 4-0 up already.
And due reward there for Tony Kemp's kick. Lee Penny, of course, had to cover across to put that ball into touch. Gave Leeds the head and the feed, and moving the ball over onto the Leeds left-hand side. There was shortage of numbers in the Warrington cover defence. Blackmore strolled through. Very stressed when he arrived here that he was going to play an expansive brand of football, and certainly if the first 7 or 8 minutes or anything to go by. And Warrington, nightmare knock on from the kick-off.
Yes, absolute nightmare there, and Danny Nutley was involved, and couldn't quite see who the other player was, but I
think it was Lee Penny coming across trying to take it.
But nobody called there, Dean.
Oh, just a schoolboy error. I mean, Darryl van der Velde will be pulling his hair out if he's got anything left.
Yes, and Ryan Sheridan then gives Leeds head and feed at the scrum. He's just gone and got the ball, and that gives Leeds a great opportunity to attack again. Kemp with the ball in his hands now, drops off inside for Blackmore again. Sheridan, that's good play. Oh, Sheridan's out through. Well, Ryan Sheridan, it's taken a long time for him to run at the defence. For the first time he's done it. Great try, Dean Bell.
Yes, that's right. It all come from the Warrington mistake, but a great set move from the scrum. Just open up for Ryan Sheridan. They had a number of options, but Ryan Sheridan showed terrific pace to go around by the post.
But he said it's gone backwards. Would he believe it? Right underneath his own post.
Yes, I don't think the referee's endearing himself very well to this crowd. At the moment, he's making a few poor decisions, and unfortunately, they're going against Leeds. But, I mean, you get that in games. Leeds have just got to hang in there, and I noticed that they're playing with a lot more enthusiasm at the moment, and I think Darryl Powell's got a lot to do with it, the way he's come on.
Yes, he's having a big game, Darryl Powell, and Warrington 10 metres from their own line, kicking. Pick the ball up, Brad Godden. Brad Godden, in fact, it's Ryan Sheridan. He's in for the try in the corner. That's a try. Warrington lost the ball. Adam Doyle under a lot of pressure there. Warrington in the on the sixth tackle. Adam Doyle lost the football. Godden kicked on. Sheridan picked up and a try in the corner.
Yes, an opportunist try there from Ryan Sheridan.
Middle of the field, and again General Custard in Lee Penny holding him back.
Yeah, that all come from a great play of the ball by Richie Blackmore, and now Leeds are on attack. Inside ball to Darryl Powell. Is he going to make the line? Yes, a terrific try from Darryl Powell. Inside pass from Tony Kemp, put him away. And that should be the game now for Leeds. And It's been terrific play in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they get what they deserve at the moment.
Be nice for Leeds to finish with a flourish for the fans that have turned up. Perhaps get the score up to 30 if they can. That might send out a message.
Yes, it's a good 9,800. I think we'd have all settled for that at the start of the game. Marcella, he's had a big game in the 2 spells he's been on. He looks a good player. And again, the move not quite coming off there is Marcus Sinelé, but he's just done well since he came on. Morley going for the line himself. That was a great try from a great player.
Yes, just he's got what he deserved, Adrian Morley. Took the ball from dummy half. He was about 10 metres out. He beat 3 on his way to the line. A couple of them got their hands to him, but just too strong.
Yeah, we kept it very tight, and I thought that's what we intended to do before the game. You know, keep it tight, keep playing our support play, and we did it very well. You know, we went a little bit to pot with 10 minutes before half time, but you know, we got ourselves together and we come up with a victory.
So overall, what pleased you most about the performance?
Just our ball security. You know, I thought we secured the ball very well and we kept it tight when we needed to, and then when we needed to go wide, we had the ability to go wide, and overall it was a great result for us.
And we were very, very strong in all departments. As you say, Yeston 3 tries, but he was on the back of a very, very powerful forward effort, and I think that day showed that Leeds were here to make a name for themselves in Super League.
Stepping his way forward, Sinelé slipped though on the greasy surface. But Leeds 10 metres short there now of that Bradford line. This is better play from Leeds. Great play there. Oh, that's going to be a try to Leeds. That's a try. Richie Blackmore over. So Leeds forcing Bradford into the ultimate penalty there for giving away possession at that scrum, for knocking on there, and Leeds have gone over and take the lead. Great try from Richie Blackmore. So Holroyd then to work the feed. Glanville picks the ball up from the scrum. Finds Harris. Harris powering his way forward. Harris there going for the line. Is he in at the corner? He's in at the corner. Another move from the scrum. Leeds. Great play from the Rhinos. Tremendous play there from Yestin Harris. And that's one of the moves they've been working on in training, where the loose forward picks up the ball, caught the Bradford defence napping on the short side, and Harris taking the ball over, wide out in the corner there. Good play from Leeds, and that gives them a 10 points to 2 lead. Inside. Harris goes himself from dummy half, looking for a way through. And over there finds Paul Sterling, great mates off the field, Sterling and Harris. And Sterling's into that 20 metre mark as Sheridan goes from dummy half. Finds Farrell. Farrell slipped as he attempted to step the man, but Leeds are 10 metres short now. Bradford have men short on that far side. Can Leeds get the ball away? Harris is going for the line, he's in again for the try. Harris, well, would you believe it? This is turning into a rout by the Rhinos at the moment, and it's Yestin Harris who's done them again from a scrum. Inside running good angles tonight, Jamie Matthew. Holroyd, it's a lovely ball out there. Harris puts the hammer down. Harris is in at the corner, and that'll seal the game for Leeds, because I can't see Bradford coming back from that. So a hat-trick of tries for Yestin Harris. What class player he is tonight. Stuart Cummins awards a try, no doubt this time, and Bradford, who were forced to drop out from under their own post, have paid the ultimate penalty. And it's time we saw all the Bradford fans streaming out now, black glasses and all. It's hard to say that Bradford asked their fans to come in black glasses tonight. That's because of the dazzling play from Yestin Harris. Still the last tackle. Picked up there by Sinelé. Is that going to be a try to Leeds? He's held short there. That's good play from Sinelé. Plays the football. All right, comes in, steps back inside. Finds Sheridan. Leeds did really well there. Long ball out there. He's bouncing this time. It's for Sterling. Sterling down the middle of the field. Still going Paul Sterling. The line's opening up for him, and he's in for a try. Well, it's a rout now for Leeds. Bradford have fallen to pieces, folded like a pack of cards. Some abysmal play there from Bradford, and Paul Sterling making them play with a try there right at the end.
Try scorer for the Leeds Rhinos, number 2, Paul.
And to win them both in a short space of time was a tremendous performance. But it wasn't just so much the victory as the manner of the victory, particularly at Odsal. I think that was the game that saw the emergence of Yestin Harris as a genuine force in Super League in 1998. His hat-trick will live long in the memory of everybody who saw it. There's a very famous try where he went over with Sean Edwards in the background holding his head in despair, and I think that was a defining moment from Leeds' season.
in support. That's a lovely ball from Morley. Kemp's going to go in for the first Leeds try tonight. Underneath the post. Well, that was class play from Leeds. Great play there. Great ball from Tony Kemp, who put Adrian Morley through the smallest of gaps. Morley using his force. Newton's ball immediately found Kemp, and Kemp just drew the man lovely there and put Morley through the gap. A couple of Castleford players standing there. He used his strength to get out of the full-back's tackle, and when he was being pulled down by Danny Orr, who was in support, the man who gave him the pass, Tony Kemp, to go around another post, make the conversion for Yasin Harris, I should think, a formality. So just the kind of start Leeds will have wanted then. Dropping out again, Farrell will run the ball back. And again he makes ground, dragging 2 and 3 Castleford defenders with him. Sheridan's in at dummy half, looking to weigh up his options, and one of the options is to find Darren Fleary, and that's what he does. And Fleary again powering forward, and it's the advantage line is paper thin at the moment, because he's getting over it. Matthew stepping over the post, must be in here for the try. Great defence from Flowers, and quick play the ball. Sheridan, is he going over? And the referee, I think, has awarded the try. It's a good play there from Ryan Sheridan. Gets it now, using Harris as a foil, brings Harris round the outside again, 2 dummy runners, and this time the gap's opened up. Yes, to Harris in for the try, and that's certainly the game now for Leeds. Richard Gay stands with his hands on his hips, takes his gum shield out, and really there was nothing he could do there. That move has worked very well there. Holroyd has got 2 options here with the dummy runners. Kemp again now. He's got Harris outside him. Spinning ball for Cummins in the centre. Coming straight at Hassano, brings him down. Good copybook tackle, man and ball, smothered him. Harris again goes from dummy half, puts the inside ball for Sterling. Sterling finds Glanville. Glanville to Kemp. Kemp, short ball for Matthew. Gaps opening up for Jamie Matthew. Jamie Matthew, has he got the legs? He hasn't there. Broadbent again. Great defence from Broadbent. An interference at the play of the ball. It's the last tackle. Leeds are meant to spare if they can get it through the hands. And they can indeed. And it's a try there. Wide out for number 12, Mark Glanville.
Yes, I just hope the referee doesn't go to the video referee, which he doesn't. The try has been awarded. I just feel as though it might have been a touch forward, that pass, but it was a great run by Jamie Matthew that set that up.
Knocked back there, Francis Cummins knocked the football, but it went backwards to the referee, and Francis back to this virtually the same position.
Yeah, I think it's going to take something special at the moment to unlock both defences, so, you know, we need some big players coming into their own now.
And Graham Holroyd has shown that he can unlock tight defences at times. And Lee's just been tackling possession, and Glanville now out wide. Looking to plough off, knocks one man off. And ball's back to Morley. Is he going to have the legs, Adrian Morley? He's in for a try. And we said it needs a big player, and they don't come much bigger than Adrian Morley.
No, I mean, it was a great ball by Mark Glanville. He ran into the defender about 15 yards out. He knocked him off. He released the ball. It'd be great to look at on video, just as we are now. Unfortunately, we can't see all of it, but he did knock the defender off and put out a ball. Maybe Phil can see a little bit more.
Just again, the handling skills of Mark Glanville. We saw it in one of the pre-season games.
Good ball for Leeds. She's on 9th. Heel from the scrum. Glanville picks the ball up and makes a good 10 metres there. That's good play from Mark Glanville. That's class loose forward play. Dean, you were former loose forward. That's good play.
Yeah, only for a very short time, Stuart. But yeah, it was a terrific run. I mean, it was just a very simple play, him picking the ball up the back of the scrum, but it needed to be made, and the yards were great. Yasin Harris makes a great break here, and he's going to go all the way. A terrific ball there by Jamie Matthew as Yasin Harris scores a try under the post.
Yes, and that's the game, I think, Phil Kaplan for Leeds. It's a great try there to Harris, but he had a lot of work to do. He beat 2 men and then left the full-back for dead as he stepped in. And as we said before, you can't tackle Yasin if he's in that speed, because he steps off both feet without any change in pace. And Gary Broadbent didn't know really there whether it was on his back or his elbow. And Harris is there underneath the post for the try, and that could be the game to Leeds, because Salford will have to score 3 times. There's no doubt whatsoever that Yasin Harris will convert this kick. Adrian Morley in this game, but what we have seen has been absolutely devastating, and it's measured of how good Leeds are playing at the moment, that they can manage without. Oh, that's a lovely ball from Allroyd. Puts Andy A through there, and Andy A there for Yasin Harris, and he's under the post again.
Yes, great ball to Andy Hay, who come through the gap just off a Graham Holroyd pass, a short pass. I actually thought Andy Hay had taken the wrong option. He hung on to the ball when he did have Yasin Harris in support, but as he did take the tackle, he did throw it over the top. Yasin Harris, as ever, in support. He's having a terrific game tonight.
Tremendous game, and Harris again under the post, so obviously Salford now just here to make up the numbers. Intercepted by Tony Kemp. Well, he won't have the legs to go the length of the field, but Brad Godden might, because he's got Graham Allroyd inside him. Godden's come over to the centre position, and he's run out of options there. Brad Godden should have really stuck in the middle of the field, I think, Dean.
Yeah, that's right. Again, I think, you know, he's just maybe lacking a little bit of confidence there to pin his ears back. But, you know, some great defence there by Marcus St. Hilaire to keep Nathan McAvoy out. As Andy Hay goes down the side, passes a great ball onto Paul Sterling. Paul Sterling's going to have too much pace. And you think he's going to put it down the corner, but he comes around under the post for another great Leeds try.
Yasin Harris to kick the game underway. And a big test for Leeds tonight. London, I know, are really fired up for this game. Tony Curry, former Leeds man, of course, will have the team absolutely on top of the world for this game. He really wants to make things happen. He's been disappointed with the start that London have made, but they have shown in the last couple of games, particularly the one against Wigan, where they really did put Wigan to the sword in the first half. Led 6-0 up for half time, and that's the first penalty of the game against Leeds. And that's safely through the middle. A real test of character for Leeds this evening. A punch up on the far side. And it's all happening, it's all on. Kemp's trying to settle things down. Well, we'll have to... Well, it's getting lively, the game, and all the time the clock's winding down, and that's not what Leeds want to be doing. Interesting to see, the big screen, I'm sure Connolly won't watch what's happened there. Oh, alarm man was thumped there. Yes, it was Glanville. Thumped in the tackle. But of course, will they have been spotted by the officials? It's been seen on TV. Glanville gets to his feet. There's absolutely nothing at all. The head comes up from Gill and then the punch is thrown. Peter Gill, the man who was adjudged to be the culprit as far as Sky are concerned. There'll be no consolation if Leeds get a man sent off. Glanville. Well, would you believe it? Glanville has been sent off. Well, John Connolly, you're an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Harris again now, working the ball. That's not a good pass, but Kemp makes it into one. Puts Morley through, but Morley can't get anywhere. This London defence has been absolutely superb this evening. Sheridan finds Mazzella. Mazzella's in 7-8 metres from the line. Sheridan's gone to hooker, has Lawford off the field. Harris again. And that's going to be a try for Brad Godden. And Leeds at last hit back with that try to Godden. And now the kick with on 30 minutes. And that's Brad Godden's first try for the club. Francis Cummins takes the ball on the full. Looks to dodge his way through, he can't get through, but he's given Leeds a good attacking platform there. There's Marcus St. Hilaire. Takes play up to halfway. Sheridan again. Masella. That good defence again from London. Matthew finds Kemp. Kemp's ball is for Blackmore. Blackmore's through the gap. He's away, Blackmore. Stepping inside. But he's going to go over the line backwards. and puts the ball out. Well, that's a strange try, is that? Oh, Richie Blackmore should have gone under the post then, but this has put Leeds straight back in the game. Oh, Richie Blackmore, 73 minutes. And Blackmore stepped inside. It was a great ball, and then he was running backwards and he ran back to the line, but if he could have turned round, he could have made the kick a little bit easier for Iestyn Harris. And if Iestyn Harris kicks this one, we'll put Leeds in front for the first time in the game. So Harris then settles it down. It's 20 metres in from touch. The most important kick of Iestyn Harris's night. Just the one goal now from Terry Madison, the drop goal that separates the sides. Harris can kick this, but put Leeds in the front. Well, he's settled, he's taking his time, is Harris. I think he'd like to take actually another 6 minutes if he could. An important kick, he steps now, he comes round, he strikes it straight through the middle. Leeds in the lead then.
The London game, Leeds came from behind. They were trailing well into the game, and just sheer will to win turned things round.
The Richie Blackmore late try for in the London game was a very good individual effort, but the Wigan game here, when a packed house, and it went a bit to and fro for a long while, and then the try by Andy Hay to seal it, and you know, I think that was probably one of the highlights of the year for me.
Interference there at the play of the ball. He should have had a penalty. Masella stepping, going himself, and straight at one Wigan player there on the floor. Knocks him down with the power of his drive. And Leeds should have 6 more tackles here again, and Darren Cleary going forward.
Yes, back to one. Very fortunate there for Leeds. Wasn't a good pass from dummy half. The win in front of Tony Kemp. He let it bounce, and fortunately one of the Wigan players got a boot to it, so it's back to one again.
Yes, and Neil Cowie making his presence felt already. One swinging arm there at Adrian Morley. Kemp looks to dummy, goes himself, gets the ball back inside there. That's great play from Leeds. Leeds pressing strongly in these opening stages. Lawford it was. Another poor pass comes out there, but Harris has it over on that far side. Drops off inside for Brad Godden, who steps inside, can't get anywhere. Still Leeds hovering around this 10-metre area. Harris takes the ball on himself, drives for the line from dummy half. It's the ball back to Godden. Godden's in for the try. That's going to be the first try of Leeds. Good play, Dean Bell.
Yes, everyone thought Iestyn Harris had been tackled. He used tremendous strength to pass the ball out of the tackle. Brad Godden was the recipient, and it's a very good try. A lot of pressure put on the Wigan line, and I think at this early stage to get a result like that is tremendous.
Sterling's got the ball. He's up the middle of the field. I just saw the number of the man on the floor.
Yeah, that was great work, brave work by Tony Kemp there. Dropped on the loose ball after the kick from Gary Connolly. Showed a lot of courage, and then managed to get off the ground and pass the ball to Paul Sterling.
Godden almost through the gap and leads it again 10 metres from that line, and Jamie Matthew it is who's driving forward under the Wigan post. Harris then with the football, wants to go himself, drops off. It's by Andy Hay. That's a try. The Leeds have taken the lead again with Andy Hay. Great play from Iestyn Harris. Showed the ball on numerous occasions. Looks he was going to go himself. Andy Hay had the strength to force his way over.
You can put that, even though it was great finishing by Andy Hay, you can put that down to Iestyn Harris. With Marcus St. Hilaire coming on the fullback.
Take the last tackle of the game.
There goes the holder. Famous victory. Leeds are clear top tonight. There'll be no catching up over the weekend this week, Phil Kaplan. Great play, Dean.
Mate, this is a big victory. You know, all the critics out there, it's obviously been a lot of slap on the backs for this Leeds side, but they fully deserve it tonight. A tremendous victory. It was a great contest. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's not as though Wigan played badly, just that Leeds dominated.
The Wigan game was one of the highlights of the season. It was a marvellous atmosphere, absolutely packed house, a tremendous occasion, and again Leeds showed a real desire to win. They were on top for the first half, but then suffered a major blow when Wigan went in front. But the team were just too fired up to lose the game. They came back. Andy Hay scored a marvellous try, and it really was a fabulous occasion.
For the Rhinos to get back
up into the Sheffield half of the field and set an ideal platform and hopefully come away with a score. Kemp early on in the tackle count as Sterling makes a great chase here. He's outpaced Taylor. He's coming to the line, dribbles the ball, and it should be a try there, referee. He's got the ball down. They've made a mistake of Sheffield, and Paul Sterling has managed to get the ball down. He's going to go across to the touch judge here, but that looked like a try for me, Phil. Is he going to give it here? This is going to be the interesting one. Great work from Kemp, great vision with a kick. It's a try. Leeds are back in the game. Paul Sterling has scored, and that is try number 3 for Sterling this season. Great work from Leeds. This will test the character of the squad as Broadbent makes a bad mistake there. Leeds have the possession again. This is a great opportunity now. Down to 12 minutes, Tony Kemp finds a gap. Is he away? That's a great effort from Tony Kemp. He's 5 out now. This is Harris to Blackmore on the outside of Sterling. He's in for the try. Paul Sterling scores. 17 minutes gone of this second half. He scores on the outside. Great work from Leeds. Broadbent makes the initial mistake.
To Allroyd. He's weighing up his options. Harris inside to Darryl Powell. The loose forward making his first start for the Rhinos today, and he'll want to win. He offloads to Harris. Harris arcs across the field. He's looking for a gap. It doesn't materialise. He makes it to the 20. Now the Rhinos again. Holroyd across the park, and it's gone to Powell, overlap to Cummins. Cummins is in here. Oh, it's a fabulous try for Francis Cummins. And Stuart Cummins is in, no doubt. That's a try, and it's a well-worked try. Good running by...
This is great work from the Rhinos. Sterling to Harris, runs at the defence. He finds an opening there, offloads in the tackle back to Sterling. Leeds within 5 metres of the line. This is Sheridan to Powell to Holroyd. He needs somebody to come inside. He doesn't need him. He doesn't need him. The file goes all over the place. Who cares? Because Graham Holroyd is in for a crucial try for the Leeds Rhinos. It's 23-20. Would you believe it, Phil Daly? Would you believe it? It's remaining. Tremendous character. This is the best team in Super League without doubt. And Leeds have got the penalty. And back chat from Vasilakopoulos. Leeds, let's just calm it down. Let's go for goal. Exactly, Estin Harris. This is it now. If Leeds kick this goal, we take the lead for the first time in the game. And this would be unbelievable. What a comeback. Never seen anything like it from a Leeds team. This is such a crucial kick for everyone. Everyone on the bench are on the edge of the seats. Graham Murray sipping a bit of water there. The pressure is getting to everybody. Over 8,000 in the ground. The Leeds fans have been terrific today. Leeds have worked so hard. They haven't given up. They've worked for the full 80 here. This is Harris. He lines up the goal. 2 minutes remaining. He looks at the post. 50 metres out here. It's about 47 to be precise. What a kick this will be. Harris lines up the kick now. Makes contact with the ball. Is it there? It is! Oh, what a kick! What a kick from the captain! Oh, the bench is up, and look at Graham Murray! Oh, yes! Leeds have taken the lead. This is unbelievable. This is character. This is character from everyone. They're doing the lap of honour of the Leeds Rhinos on our far stand side there. But what a performance to come back from the dead. I don't think there's any team in the world that would have come back today. But this Leeds team are unbelievable. What character they have shown. They are working for each other. What a performance. We look forward to St Helens next Sunday when the Rhinos go to Knowsley Road, trying to maintain and make it 8 wins out of 8. But let's savour the moment, because this has got to be one of the most significant results in Super League. Leeds Rhinos have come away with a win. It's Leeds 24, Sheffield Eagles 23, and we're back on top of the Super League.
Yeah, it certainly looked about 20 minutes to go as we were going to lose the game, and I think it's full credit to everybody concerned that, you know, we really dug in there, especially with 12 men. Sometimes that happens, it gives you a kick up the backside, and it worked for us today, and hopefully Adrian will get off, but you know, I think everybody really dug in and showed a great deal of character.
We know it's early days, but the signs are there. This team could go all the way and probably lift Super League. You know, an unbelievable effort to come back. 53 minutes gone, 23-4 down. Adrian Morley off the field against a very good Sheffield side.
Yeah, I thought all credit to Sheffield today. I thought they really got out in the first half and got in amongst us and made it very difficult for us. Played it very physical. We were off our game a little bit after being outstanding last week, and so it's a game that we had to win really. You know, after beating Wigan last week, we really desperately needed the 2 points to keep us above Wigan. And I don't like to talk about going all the way, you know, because we've got to take each game as it comes, and we set ourselves goals in blocks of 4 really, and we've won our last 3 now. We set ourselves 3 out of 4, so we've achieved that goal, and we've got to kick on and make sure that we win next week as well.
So what does the win mean to you today, Darryl?
Well, it means 2 points really. I mean, it means a lot to me because I didn't really want to come back here, and I've got a lot of friends here and I didn't want them having a go at me after the game. So it means a lot. It's good to get out there and play for 80 minutes as well. It's something I haven't done for a while, and you know, it's pretty difficult when you haven't played for a while, so I'm just glad to be out there back playing, and hopefully I'll be able to stay in there for next week.
Yeah, St Helens next week, a tough game in Prospect next Sunday. Always difficult for Leeds to go across there and come away with a win, but on this form we probably could take anyone on at the moment.
Yeah, I think today, you know, apart from the last 20 minutes, we didn't play to our full potential, and I think whenever we play to our potential, we're a very difficult side to beat. St Helens will be tough, but if we go over there and play as well as we can do, then we'll be very tough to beat as well, so it should be a pretty good game.
Severe bruising as Fleary comes downfield with the ball. Ryan Sheridan was a dummy half. Marcella to Holroyd, and he's a class footballer. Holroyd, isn't he? Julian O'Neill takes him down, he plays the ball quickly, and the Leeds Rhinos run, move it quickly to the left. Cummins has the ball, he's hurrying down the wing, he gets past Aitchison. Well, he just completely bamboozled Aitchison there. Just that little shimmy and a great try. Have been pre-match training. Harris, the Welsh wizard, bounces off 2, bounces off 3, he gets away from Joint. Well, he's got to be watched. So with Farrell turns, good drives for the line. Held down 5 metres short. The Leeds Rhinos unlucky not to get in, and the Saints defence was up to it there on that occasion. Holroyd out to Gordon. Gordon's in. Super try from the Rhinos. 16 minutes gone, and the Saints defence exposed on the left. Came from the Sheffield Eagles. And Keithley, and now it's Blackmore. Martin can't bring him down. Blackmore again. Joint, well, Blackmore still going, dear me. Strong man. Saints defence tested, and they're not doing the job well. That's a knock on at the play of the ball. Well, it isn't a knock on at the play of the ball. The referee says not. Leeds allowed to carry on. Harris, speculator out to the back door. Now we Farrell. Fleary just getting in the way there. Matthew pushes the Saints defence off. It's the last one of the sequence, and Andy Hay in for Leeds' 3rd try. On the 6th tackle, Leeds operating the power play of the day as the Liners, well, the ex-Liners, the Rhinos. There's Fleary, good running. He gets the ball away. The tackle count waved clean. The Rhinos have a set of 6, another set of 6 to 15 metres out. Powell breaks out of the tackle, gives Leeds a good platform to build on. 10 metres from the Saints line, a rare excursion into the Saints half as Harris tries to get it underway. The ball put down, and it's the substitute there that's on, Marcus St-Hilaire, and he leads over for the try. The referee, has he given it? Darryl Powell, the man that's come up with it. St-Hilaire with good running.
Yeah, we went to a pretty a good lead there against St Helens, but then they fought back, and it was a draw there for a long while. And I think that extra support, the people from Leeds here are fantastic. They followed us everywhere, and I think that just kicked us home on that particular day.
Comes back inside. This is Harris. He's arcing away across, looking for a gap, looking to feed. And here comes Godden. He's past the 30, the 20, taken down on the 20. 17 yards out from the try line for the Rhinos. This is Tony Kemp. He's going to put a big kick up there, and Richie Blackmore and Paul Stern and a double team on there. It's come back for Blackmore. Robert Connolly's wiped the tackle count clean. It's back to 1 for the Rhinos. And Richie takes it down there. And that was a great set of 6 for the Rhinos. They really worked it well, and they'll be hoping to get some attacking options going here now in the Huddersfield 20. Kemp across to Harris, who's arced around the back. Godden finds a gap. He could be through here. He's just caught short. 5 yards out, and he falls back to he gets the offload to Harris. The tackle wasn't made. Harris to Cummins. He'll have to come inside. He does. Now Sheridan finds Hay. Hay, big run from Hay. And we look, the referees look, and that's a try for Andy Hay. In the week he makes it into the England squad. He proves his worth.
The players in the Huddersfield half, then you feel increasingly confident that Leeds are going to post a score.
Neil Harmon takes it up there, and it's a big hit from Andy Hay and Martin Marcello that puts him down on the deck. Now Steve Booth arcing across. He finds Matt Sturm. It's dropped down, and Tony Kemp's got it. And Tony Kemp making it to the line. It's a foot race now, and he's got 5, and he's over. Oh, what a try from Tony Kemp. He capitalised on the mistake, and that's what happened in this year's Super League. A great team like Leeds, you can't make mistakes because you'll be punished, and that was a fabulous try from Tony Kemp. The ball was dropped by Matt Sturm, and Tony Kemp went through, made 30 yards on that run.
He went through the hole, and his arcing run included 3 tremendous handoffs, 1 on Neil Harmon, 2 on Danny Arnold, but fortunately for Huddersfield, Arnold made that last tackle stick, and Leeds doing a plan move from the base of the scrum.
Graham Allroyd out to Francis Cummins, and it's as easy as that. The plan move works as if they were doing it on the exercise paddock. Harris arcing round, off to Holroyd. Holroyd in, out to Cummins, and really, when your defence doesn't shift across like Giants, they were caught out there outside, and Cummins just comes under. Maybe he could have even got under the post to make it a little more easier. That's the famous slip move they used there. Sterling takes it up another 10 yards. We're just hearing now that from the authorities here at Headingley, the attendance is 13,144. That's a great attendance. As Marcus St-Hilaire breaks it, and he'll go all the way. Marcus St-Hilaire from the halfway line. What a man! The youngster who's made his way into the team, and he must have been going at some pace there.
Well, those are the things that you want out of your star players, and you know, the things that you can't coach. I mean, that was a brilliant effort there by Yeston. A great offload by Barry McDermott. Oh, there's one that Faz has held at the moment, and I think, as I said before, it's just a matter of time before the floodgates open. Yeston running from dummy half here, making a good break. Sterlo's got the ball. Let's show his pace now. And a great run by Sterlo.
Good run by Paul Sterling there as he comes back inside. Always worries defences because of his space and his ability to cut down defenders and get really inside, and that's a great offload there, and Ryan Sheridan could be under the post. He is. Well done, Richie Blackmore. Ryan Sheridan only just back on the pitch.
So you've got to credit Ryan Sheridan there. He's just put a scrum cap on because he's been obviously had a head wound. Comes on the sideline, and the first time he touches the ball, it's in support to Richie Blackmore, and he's under the post, and Leeds have again dominated in a 2-minute spell.
That's gone backwards. Andy Hay offloads to Martin Marcella. The Rhinos 35 metres out from their own post. Goes across towards the south stand side. Graham Horwood, a jinking run. He's got a hold. He could go all the way here. He's got support. He's got loads of support, and it's... Oh, that's a lovely ball inside from Graham Horwood. All credit to him. Fabulous ball back inside to Francis Cummins. And that's a great... It's his second try of the night, and really richly deserved. The Giants looking to make another substitution. Tony Bowers looking to come back on. Offload to Fleary. Fleary, he makes the halfway line. He won't go all the way. It's a good run there.
Yeah, great pass there by Barry McDermott. He's had a very good game because obviously the pace of the game would be hard for him to handle after playing at the second division standard. And he's coped very well.
As we say that, Yestin Harris makes another break. He's got Paul Sterling. Oh no, it's Graham Holroyd. And he backs his own pace, and he managed to get round Neil Harmon, his old teammate. And there's no one that'll be more upset with that than Neil Harmon.
It must have been a good team performance if you've got 3 different men of the match.
Give me a minute, I'll think of another.
And they're all emerging lads.
Good work by Richie Blackmore there as he comes back in the offside. Inside from Andy Hay. Now Fleary to McDermott. Back inside to Harris. Outside now to Holroyd. There's an overlap there. If Marcus St Hilaire can take it, oh, he can. And he gets his second for the night. Well done, Marcus St Hilaire, against his former club.
You feel on St Hilaire's performance tonight that if he'd have been playing regular games at Leeds, he'd have been in this emerging England team.
You get the feeling with many players in this side that perhaps the five Andy Goodway chose, he thought he couldn't pick many more, he'd be playing our side really. Because certainly Ryan Sheridan and Anthony Farrell were unlucky to miss out on call-ups.
And we said that the benchmark tonight was probably Wigan's 46-0 beat over Huddersfield, and Cummins is away and Leeds could top that. He should go in the corner. Great tackle, Paul Cook.
Paul Cook sized him up from nearly 10 yards away there and put the tackle in right in the corner.
Yeah, but I think what saved the certain try, because it was Ryan Sheridan in support, was a defender coming across, and he got in between Ryan Sheridan and Francis Cummins.
But Yessin Harris goes under now. And there it is, the regular as clockwork. Yestin Harris chomps up with one of his tries, and that was perhaps one of the easier ones he'll get this season. He just had to walk over from 2 yards. But
and then June, the unbeaten run, the record start to the season came to an end away at the Boulevard. We mentioned that we were knocking off Voodoo grounds, but sooner or later, inevitably, it would happen. It was against an old colleague of yours, Peter Walsh.
Yeah, we probably didn't play all that well that day, but that's a credit to Hull. They didn't let us play well. We were, we'd won 9 and we were travelling along pretty well, but they were just too good for us on that particular day. It wasn't much in it, It was a wet day, which probably didn't suit us either.
Round the back, he needs support. He's brought down 18 yards out from the Sharks line. Holroyd, they've got an overlap here if they use it. Cummins comes back inside and he's just caught by the ankles. A great tackle, great defence there from the Sharks. Morley offloads to Sheridan. He decides to switch play back across, and once again it's Holroyd got a tap on it there, and it's going all over. And Paul Sterling, balls flying around there, players just kicking at it. Just would have been better to have fallen one. Robert Connolly gives it as a try for Paul Sterling, and no one will be happier with a try than Paul Sterling here back here at the Boulevards. The training ground on the field. As Holroyd gives it out to Harris, who's got Golden arcing round behind him. But he's taken down by Prescott, who knocks it down, and Paul Sterling gets the ball. And it's back to 0 again for the Rhinos. Good set of pressure here now. Yessin Harris has to be careful, he isn't called up there, but Mike Masella just takes the ball down. And the Rhinos who look to go from here. Holroyd to Blackmore, he runs through. And he's taken well by Heppy. Lawford to Sheridan. Sheridan run out of options, but there's an option. Big Barry McDermott, he's going all the way. Oh, it's a wonderful try for Barry McDermott, and a great ball from Ryan Sheridan that sends Barry McDermott crashing through a big open hole.
McDermott. There's the full-time hooter, with Hull victorious by 22 points to 10. What a fabulous win. And one that will really restore the spirit in the club.
Yeah, we were probably going through what let's call a little slump there at that stage, but we weren't playing that well, but we were still winning our share of games.
Look at the action. And Gibson there to make the tackle, reliable in defence with Chris Chester. Chester there again, ball turned back inside to Cummins, and there's Gibson again, around the ankles. Darren Fleary into Chester and Mercer, edging towards that Halifax line, 20 metres away, putting the run round on. Here goes Allroyd, seeing a bit of a gap out to Bouveng. Blackmore out to Sterling, and Leeds have got the first try. They've managed to play out the full 6, and they move the ball out wide. And really it was down to the backs, because I think Fleary was the only forward involved in that movement going forward. But good hands outside from Allroyd, who made the step and the breaking originally. Halifax move it out wide. Des Clark loses possession, trying to go under the tackle from Kemp. Sterling's looking for the penalty. Tony Kemp's in an offside position there. Technically, ball comes loose again. It's gone backwards. Sterling might need the pace, but the touch judge seen something. Sterling fancies his hand with Skerritt. Well, Skerritt still throwing punches. Sterling instigated it, and Blackmore's in. Here we go again. Well, it's been coming for some time as this. John Connolly has penalised the little offences to try and keep players apart. Kelvin Skerritt just lost it there, but Sterling did have a bit of a tug. And Sterling is having a word with Carl Harrison. Interesting that he started the battle with Kelvin Skerritt and then disappeared. Did Sterling into back play. Skerritt, I think, got one in, or one attempt. And Sterling says, I'm off, out of the way. Well, in the pocket, it's got to be Kelvin Skerritt that's off. No doubt about it, because Kelvin Skerritt wanted to fight the whole of the Leeds team. But I think Carl Harrison has, well, he's still going 2 men off. And it's Anthony Farrell that's going off with Kelvin Skerritt. Well, John Connolly saw something I didn't. Centre field, Sheridan in at the acting half role. Andy A came to Leeds via Castleford and Sheffield. Gary Etherington lost 1 or 2 players to Leeds when he was in charge at Sheffield, and brought 1 or 2 with him, as Harris has scored a try for Leeds, carved away through the defence. Yestin Harris for the Leeds Rhinos. Well, John Connolly seems to nod in agreement, but says we'll just have a look for the knock-on. Well, Harris carving the opening again in the Halifax defence that's down to 12 men. With a step, then found Baldwin, who made the tackle. But Leeds going forward, making it over the advantage line again, this time with Fleary. Tackled by Bouveng and Clinch. Matteo, great ball away to Allroyd, but Allroyd was well watched by Mercer, although I think he was struggling to keep his feet when he took the pass. Kemp, one-handed pass away to Harris. Harris coming more into the game for the Rhinos. Andy away to Godden. Could be a try on here for Leeds. Cummins goes for the corner. This will be another one for the video ref. Looking to see if the flag went down before the ball. Well, there were 2 Halifax defenders across. Caught again, sucked in. John Connolly nods. Looks like the try will be given. Big blow for the Blue Sox. A big boost for the Rhinos. If this one comes up as a 4-pointer. Andy, long pass out to Powell. Powell stepping inside, all wrapped up by Marshall and Mercer. Leeds still 10 metres out, but pushing forward. Great ball. Allroyd only has to release it. Try time here for Cummins. Bentley squaring up with Godden. Another look at the television, but I don't think there's much doubt about this one. A lot clearer. And Cummins forces his way into the corner. Halifax had been sucked into the middle. Well, perhaps that might be Gary Mercer. Whoever it is going to the scrum, it's possibly Mercer. Mercer and Allroyd enjoying a bit of a joke between each other. Leeds win the scrum. Now they'll look to have the last word. Blackmore pops it up brilliantly for Saint-Hilaire. Saint-Hilaire in for the try. Halifax left wanting in defence again, but a great ball from Blackmore, dropping it off to Saint-Hilaire. From Marshall on Darryl Powell. Bloom around the top. And Powell looks a tired man at the end of this one. Andy A to Blackmore. Blackmore released into open space. Charging towards the Halifax line. Pushes Clinch away. One-handed away to Sterling. Rowley after Sterling, but he's not going to catch him. And Sterling will score for the Leeds Rhinos. Few boos there, I think, for Jamie Bloom. Trying to make the challenge on Paul Sterling. But Sterling opened the score for Leeds with the first try. and perhaps closed it with that one.
Yeah, Bradford, they really come in and they ambushed us that day. They really played well, and when they led 18-6, I knew we were in a bit of trouble, and they just kept piling on the points. And I thought, gee, we're in for a bit of a hiding here today. But you're right, credit to the players. They fought back, and there was one instance there where Marvin Golden scored a try from a Graham Holroyd kick that he just came from nowhere to score. And I thought, well, even though we're down, I felt as though these blokes still want to put their bodies on the line and make this a very respectable score.
Wasn't won, and Leeds are confirming that fact. Here's Kemp to Blackmore, and Blackmore flicks it on to Harris, who in turn gives it to Sheridan, and Sheridan back to Holroyd. Holroyd over the top. Golden gets the try! Vicona was just dozing there, and Matthew Elliott, he's furious with his winger. It's now a question of whether the Leeds man, Marvin Golden, was in an on or offside position.
Well, they held off. It was desperation time. They were keeping the ball alive.
Foreshore dummy half. Spruce. Still going Spruce. Dumps it back. Dwyer the first to react. Godden gets to him again.
Here he comes again. Where's McNamara?
He stood to the left of the play this time. It's with Deacon. Oh, Deacon's pass is intercepted. Here's an opportunity for Holroyd. Has he got the pace? Bradley's after him. They're all after him. Holroyd for the corner, and Holroyd gets the try. Graham Holroyd picked out the cherry then from the attempted pass out wide from Paul Deacon.
Now, we didn't play particularly well against it, but we won the match up there. But the first part of the season, I mean, I couldn't have been happier. I mean, you'd like to win every game, but in this type of competition, it's probably not possible. But we started off well, and I think we'd achieved a lot of our goals, and we were sitting in the top 2 or 3, and that was one of our other goals.
did you?
But he does. Leeds to bring it away.
Good, I've just 5 minutes gone in the game. Very tight early encounters between the two teams. Looking to find gaps, just testing each other's out. And now Darren Fleary takes it up. And it's Sheridan to Marcella, the other prop that starts today. Darren Fleary back in the side at prop. Now Sheridan to Farrell. Farrell's got a one-up hit stuff here from the Rhinos early doors. Testing out Dean Sampson there, but he's got the measure of it. He brings him down. 40 out from the cast sticks. A long pass to Holroyd. He does well to take it. It comes off his... Oh no! Holroyd could be through it. Good kick through from Marcus St-Hilaire. And it's Richie Blackmore, but there's going to be an offence there maybe. Stuart Cummins checks with his in-goal touch judge. A lot of slopping around there. And we'll have to wait and see. Now he goes to his linesman. He's checking with everyone. Got to make sure on that one. There was a lot of bodies there. A lot of hands. He seems to be coming back. He seems dead certain what he's doing here. The Rhinos team look happy. They're heading back towards the halfway line. It is a try, and the Rhinos have got off to a flying start. 6 minutes in, they've got the first try. Great deal of pressure there. Graham Morey was brilliant to catch that ball and just managed the same movement to get a kick through. It bounced off a chest, and Marcus St-Hilaire, he was there, he got a little chip through, and it was Richie Blackmore in the end who was there to take it under the post, and he'll be one of the most happiest men in that team, a former Castleford player, and he got the try there. Great try for Richie Blackmore, and just the start the Rhinos wanted.
Play the ball, switching play, Samson strong man, as his name suggests. Hatchett, good baller, big Richie, pulled man onto him well there, Hatchett. Don't like it, Marcella, neither. Aye. Bit of fisticuffs. Don't usually get that Leeds and Cast matches. Bit of ship pulling there. Morgan missed it actually. I don't know what. I saw it ball come out, loose ball. Now whether the thought's been pulled out or what, referee will sort it out. Ball touches it on. Big Rich is involved.
To get a little chance here. The three speedsters now have taken it up as Sterling gets it, and he looks for a hole, but he's caught well there by Schick, and now Harris runs at them. He's got Hay drives up the middle. Good work from Andy Hay. He's got Cummins outside and goes to the corner. Oh, he's got inside past Flowers and Van Forden. He's going to underneath the post. And that is a great try for Leeds. A fantastic try. And we all thought the dying seconds of the half were up, but not these Leeds Rhinos. They play until the hooter. And that is a great try for Francis Cummins. And that continues his rich vein of form. He got a hat-trick in the last game at Gateshead, and he's got his first of the day now. A great try for Francis Cummins. And good work there from Harris and Hay and Holroyd. Great play there, but Francis Cummins, he had Flowers to beat, he came inside him, and then Ford seemed to give up the ghost as Cummins scooted underneath the post. And once again, Yestin Harris gets the easiest kick of the night.
And there's big Michael Smith back on for Cass.
He's had a great kicking game, Brad Davis, throughout this match. Good tactical kicking. Now the Rhinos have to come out with Powell. He had Hay outside him, but just takes it up. He's well wrapped up by Michael Smith. And now it's Barrett turning inside of Hay, and Hay's in a hole. That's great running from Andy Hayes. Finds Graham Holroyd. Holroyd just brought down by Flowers. A great covered tackle by Flowers there. Just got hold of Holroyd's ankle and did enough to bring him down as Harris attacks now. And he makes up to 30. Offloads to Farrell. Farrell inside, running up the middle. Still going, Farrell, still going. Does well to hold on to it now. Harris to Matthew. Matthew's got Holroyd outside him. Matthew powering for the line. And he fires inside to Holroyd, but it's gone forward. Stuart Cummins acknowledges it's gone forward, and there'll be no try at Graham Holroyd. There was no need for that there. It wasn't the last tackle.
Now Salford, they copped us at a bad time because we really put it together that day. Not early, but later in the game. Adrian, you know, as you say, a Salford boy,
And
played
it's a
particularly
Rhinos
well.
ball again. It's 35 metres out, and this is great stuff from the Rhinos so far. They've got to make sure they keep good hands. It goes to Glanville. Mark Glanville seems to be everywhere on this pitch so far. He hands off Hassan to give Godden it, and Cummins is coming inside. Francis Cummins on a great run, and he's tackled well by Broadbent. But Francis Cummins, a player who's in fantastic form. Brad Godden is down. He seems to be, is it a shoulder, is it Harris now? Out to Hay on the other side of the field. Comes inside of Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore, the powerhouse. He's going to go over, is he? Yes, he does. Over in the right-hand corner. Patrick goes to check that he was. And he signals. That's a great start for the Rhinos. The slight concern over Brad Godden as physio Seamus McCallion takes a look at him. He was dazed. He gave the ball back inside to Cummins. Great running there from Francis Cummins, but a wonderful try there for Richie Blackmore. He had power and strength to took him over from 5 metres out. And this is a fantastic start for the Rhinos, just what they'll have wanted. And with just 12 minutes on the clock, that's a great start. To the 10, so they get the full 10 to work with. He does that. And so now the Rhinos set a 6 on the Salford 10 with a man over. No tries come easy in Super League, but you would think that a score here would be just what the Rhinos needed. And Smalley drives it forward into the middle of the field. They can work from here. Platform in the middle of the field. Sheridan finds Harris, finds Hay, who's got Holroyd outside him. Good try there, well worked move. Harris to Hay, out to Holroyd. And that's well worked, and the tries awarded. That's great work there from the Rhinos. As we mentioned, a try should have been coming there. Great work there. Graham Holroyd goes over in the right-hand corner. 35-metre line for the Rhinos. Now Matthew has Harris. Oh, that's a hospital pass there for Harris, but he gets it away to Blackmore, and he's got Godden, who's got Centre-Lair outside him. If he can find Centre-Lair now, he's just got to keep going. He's got Broadbent to beat. He finds inside to Adrian Morley, and that was a great try. Well worked for the Rhinos. Superb work there between Blackmore and Centre-Lair, and Adrian Morley backing up. Great work there from the second rower. Sam finds Hume, comes back across. He's heading towards his own teammates, but he's also heading towards a Rhino tackler, and that tackler is Andy Hay. And now Hume again, and he's intercepted by Andy Hay. Well on Andy Hay. Andy Hay's just got a line to go for. He's got it. Rogers chasing. Andy Hay underneath the post. Well done, Andy Hay. Intercept the ball there and went over. And the PA announcer here awards the try before the referee does, but it was all hands on a try. He had Rogers outside him. Godden's got Centre-Lair. Centre-Lair has to come back inside. He does well there. He was heading towards the touchline. And they're trying to pull him into touch there. Tackle seems to be made there, and they pulled him over, and rightly so. Kirkpatrick is penalised there, and the touch judge should have saw that. Maybe he did. And Sella drives it forward now. The tackle was clearly made there. There's about 3 attempts to get Centre-Lair into touch. As Matthew finds Farrell. Farrell drives forward. Now Morley goes to the line. Adrian Morley dives over the line. A lovely ball there, taken inside off Sheridan, and took off that line maybe 2 metres out and just landed in between the posts. A great try for Adrian Morley, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that. It's his hometown. tackle, diving tackle just to catch Godden as he looked to be on his way. Now Sheridan inside to Morley. Morley heads for Carroll and goes round the outside of Carroll. But he's brought down well, and now Luton feeds Sheridan. Sheridan's got Godden outside him again, but decides to go himself. And Teemu wraps him up well this time.
It's a shame that Brad Godden stumbled then because he was clear.
Now Harris, another kick from Harris. Going towards the post again. Tollett will go up for this time, but Adrian Morley's there again, and it bounces underneath the post, and there's confusion reigns. And is it Marcus St-Hilaire that's gone through? Oh no, sorry.
Yes, Tolson Tollett, he made an absolute hash of that, and I think you might find that Terry Newton got in there for the try. The ball bounced around, somebody tapped it back. Terry Newton was the man on hand.
I think it was. Sheridan eventually brings him down. Now it comes to Sheridan. Sheridan misses out Glanville, finds Godden. Godden though, he's got 4 men in front of him, 2 of them bring him down in Glen Eyre and John Teemu. Now Sheridan finds Fleary. Fleary in the middle of the park, drives it up there. Good work from Darren Fleary, getting a nice stable position. And now Harris goes on looking for a hole. He's found a hole. He could go in the corner. Yestin Harris over in the corner. Good run from Yestin Harris. He brushed off his tackler and went straight underneath the post. And I think it was A.D. Spencer there went in for the tackle, and he brushed him off and went over in the right hand corner there. Good try for Yestin Harris, Dean Bell. As Morley and Blackmore get the tackle in there. The ball comes flying out there. Looked like a knock on, and it was. Glen Eyre put in the play the ball and really got a big toe to that, and it went flying backwards towards Matt Toshack.
Yeah, a lot of that mistake come down to the intimidating defence by Adrian Morley and Richie Blackmore, and that's exactly what's happening at the moment. Every time London get the ball, there's 2 or 3 Leeds players right into their ribs.
And now Harris heading towards the line. He'll be looking for the same gap he went through last time, and he's found it. I think he has, yes. Suspicion that he might have knocked it on. He was stretching out for the line, but Russell Smith will go to the TV replay for the 3rd time already in this game, but he's right to do so, because if there's any shadow of doubt, that's where the results will come from. Slight arm injury there. Peter Gill runs straight through the middle there. That'll worry Graham Rowe, but he sends out a silly pass that Adrian Morley picks up, and you get the feeling now that London are playing catch-up rugby. There was no need for that pass there. Suspicion of a knock-on there from Adrian Morley. The Rhinos players looking at Russell Smith, but they got away with it there. As Francis Cummins goes down the wing, a great run there from Francis Cummins, a wonderful pass from Brad Godden.
I was just going to say, I hope the Rhinos don't score, because of a feeling if the referee goes, oh he has, and he's given the try. But if the referee had gone to the screen, he might have seen a knock-on.
It's St-Hilaire. All of a wild arm there from Peter Gill over the top of St-Hilaire's head as Blackmore gets out of Farrell fresh on the park, and he drives up. He's 5 metres out. And Newton's in at dummy half. He's got misses out. Jamie Matthew finds Sheridan. Sheridan's got Harris. Harris looking for a hole. Finds Adrian Morley. Adrian Morley, just didn't have the legs to get through there as he was tackled well by Grant Young. And now Godden out to Sheridan. Sheridan in the corner. Good drive for Ryan Sheridan there. Good work from Brad Godden. The quick play the ball and quick pass.
Brad Godden
goes up to the halfway line. It's collected by Yestin Harris, and he'll drive it back in. Good work by the skipper there. Not afraid to do the hard yardage there. Makes 20 metres on that rather. Now Sheridan to Matthew. Matthew off to Hay. Good work there by Jamie Matthew. He really has been impressive in this game, coming off the bench. Now Sheridan to Holroyd. What can Graham do in the dying minutes of this game, or quarter of this game, last quarter of the game? Now Godden outside. Godden offloads inside again. That's great work there by the Rhinos. A fabulous try by the Rhinos there. And they did get the centre 6 from the dropout that was there. So maybe I'll be down the paper shop tomorrow morning and get me lottery ticket team. What are the numbers again?
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrific movement there. Gerald Powell's looking very comfortable at number 6, and it's good to see him get a run there, because as I say, it's a position he's played most of his career in.
Well, I don't think any Leeds fan who went to Central Park will ever forget it. I think the only previous win in more or less living memory in sort of 20 odd years was about 6 years ago, but that was against a depleted Wigan side. This time Leeds went out against the best side that Wigan could put up, and they outplayed them. It was probably, I think, the best Super League game I've seen over 3 seasons of Super League. It was tremendously hard. There were some fabulous tries. And I think Brad Godden's winning score was probably the highlight of the entire season, as far as I was concerned. He weaved past 3 or 4 players, scored a try that really out of nothing, and it was a marvellous occasion.
And that sort of passion, that sort of will to win that Brad Godden showed in that try was archetypal of everything the side did this year.
I think it summed up Leeds' season. Yeah, he showed a tremendous spirit, and as did everyone else in the team.
Ball again going left. Harris, chip over the top. Pressure for Wigan. The ball goes up, it's dropped by Robinson. He's had a try for Leeds. It looks to me like Cummings will be awarded that. The attendance has just been announced, 12,786, so not quite as good as expected. As Godden goes down the left-hand side, gets the ball to Cummings, the try scorer. He misses that one though, can't go through on this occasion. So Leeds putting Wigan under pressure. What will Harris do? He's dangerous, they've got to clamp this man. He gets the ball out, over to Cummings. Cummings will score for Leeds. Leeds are edging away now. Cummings scores the second try of the evening for the Rhinos. So Holdroyd stopped by Smith just short of the line. This is good play by Leeds Rhinos. If they went over now, that'd be it. That'd be curtains for Wigan. Mathian then. Sheridan. Out to Harris. Harris gets the ball out to Morley, off the ground to Godden. What can Godden do? He's broken through. Will he score for Leeds? If he does, that's it for Leeds. Leeds are going to win this match. A super try by the centre, Godden. It came out from a pass off the floor by Morley. Godden took it. He stepped inside, went over to score in the 79th minute. Leeds Rhinos, they lead by 15 points to 8. Referee, if he chooses to go to him,
You'd have thought on what we've seen over the last few weeks that perhaps he would have taken that as an option, but again he backed himself and he was in position, so perhaps you've got to go with him.
He was right in front of where the ball was, or the issue was at stake. So it's head and feet to the Rhinos. Sheridan feeds Powell. Powell's got Harris outside him. He'll be looking to get a try if he can now. Godden feeds. St Hilaire's got a big hole to dive into in the corner, and that is a brilliantly worked try from the base of the scrum for the Rhinos, right the way across the field over to Marcus St Hilaire to dive into the corner. A wonderful try for the Rhinos. Well worked, Dean. Following the sticks now. Now Newton again finds Kemp back inside. Rhinos looking to work the options in the middle of the park. It now comes out wide to Sheridan. Sheridan finds Morley. Morley's got the numbers here. He doesn't need him. He goes over himself. A diving lunge from Morley. But Steve Ganser will go to the television.
May have dropped the ball. The referee rightly asking for the screen.
Yes. Newton inside to Morley. Morley changes direction and heads straight for Dale Lawton. He has the feet of a halfback the way he can just turn his direction from left to right as quickly as he likes. Now Godden's found a gap. Godden could go all the way here. He's got Marcus St Hilaire outside him. Jaws the fullback, gets the ball. St Hilaire heading for underneath the post, and that was lovely play from Brad Godden. He drew the fullback and the winger to leave Marcus St Hilaire with just a line to go from 15 metres out. Great work from Brad Godden. A superb try for Marcus St Hilaire. His second of the game. To Sterling. Sterling's got his wingman to meet, but he's tackled well. 8 metres short now. Now what can the Rhinos do here? It comes out to Harris, inside to Hay. Hay bounces off one tackle. He's over here, Andy Hay. He does well there. He weighed up the options, bounced off the tackle. He's gone over for some 8 metres out. And really, John Keir will not be happy with the tackling there, but Andy Hay made the most of that gap he received.
Yeah, it's all come down to pressure, isn't it? I mean, it's all right saying missed tackle, but it's all amounted from the pressure that Leeds have put on their line.
Very stoppy patch of the play for both teams at the moment. Certainly the Rhinos don't have to force any passes. They should really grind out a set of 6 as Andy Hay takes it. He's got 2 men at the tackle. Now Ryan Sheridan at dummy half gives it to Barry McDermott. Barry McDermott,
that's exactly
punches
what's
a hole.
needed.
And Ryan Sheridan back inside to Tony Kemp. Tony Kemp's found a hole. He's giving it outside to Francis Cummings. He's a wild pass out of Paul Sterling, who wasn't quite where the ball was going. And Bright Sodgy has to tackle him. No, he hasn't. And Sterling's still going for the line. And Sterling makes it to the line. Great twisting and turning and power of the legs from Paul Sterling there. He evaded 4 would-be tacklers
and then dive for the line. A great strength from the wingman, and certainly that should be the try that seals it for the Rhinos, Dean.
Yeah, certainly that'll make Graham Murray and the team breathe a little bit easier, but Sterlo's showing tonight, and there's still a lot of life left in those old legs of his, and he backed up that terrific run earlier on in this
Powell finds Matthew inside to Morley, and he's tackled, and they'll need to just complete this set of 6 here as Barry McDermott drives it up the middle of the field and offloads to Sheridan. Sheridan scooting to the line, he's got Powell outside him, and Darryl Powell goes over.
In the past, Sheffield have come to Headingley and sneaked results when perhaps they haven't played so well, but really the team kept going with the job in hand and got the win.
Yeah, we were a bit behind there at one stage, but you know, we showed what I thought that day was a pretty much a quality team, and Sheffield and St Helens, those types were always going to be hard to beat, but we showed that we were just too good for them on the day.
And the youngster Marcus St-Hilaire, he got 2 tries that day, and he, perhaps at the start of the season, many Leeds fans might not have thought he was going to be the star he was of the season, but his use off the bench as well, and the threat that he came with Yeston Harris moving up to half-backs, it was a great weapon that we could use.
Yeah, it was, and you know, Marcus is a tremendous footballer. He's got great footwork, he's got speed, he's tough, he's very, very keen to do well, and I just think that yeah, we'll see the better of him in years to come. But moving Yeston up close to the action was a bit of a ploy we used, which was very successful. I mean, everyone knew we were going to do it. It's just they probably couldn't stop it.
Wonderful pass out of the back door, and Adrian Morley goes straight over the line for a wonderful try for the Rhinos, and a great stuff from the Rhinos, and they run really well there. Something goes wrong, and as I say, Andy Hay makes a fabulous break. He goes round H and just didn't have any of the support. He was just caught by his ankles, but a great run from Andy A. He just went through a hole in the back line as if it wasn't there. And a pass down from Derry Newton. Darryl Powell's kicked on. Darryl Powell has a race to a line and kick ahead. And can he make it? He does make it. A great try for Darryl Powell. He caught that on the bounce from his second kick. And a wonderful, opportunist try for the Rhinos. And it's Anthony Fowler that's going to rejoin the game. The first interchange substitution from Graham Murray. This kick runs dead.
Yeah, there's that was a nothing kick there, and you know they've only gained 25 metres. It doesn't do much other than give a few players a rest, really.
So now the Rhinos will have head of a feed on their own 35. Good position really to start this set of 6. And it's Darren Fleer who's had a fantastic effort in this game. Was rested last week, but Dean showed everything that we knew he was again tonight.
Yeah, Darren Fleary, you know, he's just a colossus out there tonight. He's done all the things that the coach has asked him.
Just Yeston Harris makes him. Yeston Harris was broke through. They're not going to catch him. Go Yeston. A big try.
Yeston Harris, a wonderful try. Found a gap and Sullivan was chased him. It was the best Hitchcock footy you'll see in a long while. Up to the halfway now. Brad Godden looks to go again. And he crosses the halfway line. And now this is an important patch of the game for the Rhinos. They want to finish on a high. And Yeston Harris dummies one way and then jinks another, and then still doesn't get taken, and he's still going. Feeds inside to Sheridan. Sheridan, it's a foot race between Sheridan and John Long. And Sheridan will win that foot race. And they pay that down to Yeston Harris. A wonderful try from Ryan Sheridan. A little run that put that down to Yeston Harris.
This is Holroyd. On to Morley. Morley breaks the first tackle, makes tremendous yards there. Within 10 now, the halfway. Good set for Leeds up to prospects. This is Marcelo, finds Farrell in space. Farrell is away! Anthony Farrell in space. He won a step from Farrell. He's got to outpace the cover. On to Leroy Rivet, and Leeds are off to a great start. Leroy Rivet in for the first try. All right, on to Harris. He loves to step the man. Cookie, no chance there, Mr. Paul Cook. Here he goes. He likes to step. There's Mr. Yeston Harris on to Sheridan. Sheridan makes space for himself. He's away. Sheridan going out wide. He's going to outpace Arnold here. Still going is Ryan Sheridan. All the way, my son. 9 metres out from the line. Leeds on attack. This is Adrian Morley from dummy half. Onto Newton. Newton onto Harris. Harris is straight enough. Drop off to McDermott. Barry McDermott, see you later. Easy peasy for Leeds. Onto Andy Hay. Straightens up the ball. One off the rug. Good stuff from Andy Hay. Within 5 of the line. Newton drops off. Adrian Morley. Try number 3. 10 minutes gone. 16-0. It's too easy. Harris onto Farrell, who's had a great game. Again, comes across field, they can't bring him down. This is a Neil and Russell, the captain. Harris from dummy half, drops off Blackmore, straightens up, round Russell, full back to beat. He's going to see you later, is Danny Arnold. Go for it, my son. Number 4. This is far too easy. It's abysmal out there, Huddersfield. Absolutely abysmal. There in centre field between those two. This is Hay at dummy half. Onto McDermott. Comes back at the angle. Makes good yards. Harris goes himself. Long ball out to Farrell. In fact, misses out Farrell. Blackmore again likes to strain up. Throws a dummy. Blackmore is away and will score his second try. It's again a beautiful effort. 28-6. Come on, Cookie, get your life in order. This is Sinfield, 30 out. As Masella comes off the field, he's replaced by Jamie Matthew. A great 30 minutes for Martin Masella. Holroyd now with the football. Offloads beautifully to Newton. Newton offloads to Harris. That's wonderful football. Now Riven in space. He's got 50 to go. He's outside his man. Full back to beat. It goes round Danny Arnold for one of the tries of the season. Under the post he goes. And Leeds have increased their lead to 38 points to 6. King. This is Harris at dummy half. Onto Sinfield. Takes the ball within 20 from the Huddersfield line. Newton to Farrell. Brought down by the Giants. 3 tacklers in there. Good defence. Newton on this left-hand side. They come to the Rhinos. Sheridan finds Hay within 9. Quick play the ball. This is Sheridan. Goes himself inside ball. And Yestin Harris is in for another try for the Rhinos. It took them, 11 minutes to get something on the board in this second half. But this is Newton. Sheridan runs the angle. Drop off to Farrell. Farrell on to Cummins. Cummins within 5. What will Leeds come up with? Newton. Holroyd. Holroyd, the great ball of Sheridan. Offloads back to Holroyd. Holroyd steps, goes himself for a great try. Great try for Graham Holroyd. He deserves that. He's had a good game today. And he's good. Masella back on here for Barry McDermott. This is Harris. Harris goes himself, throws a cut-out ball there to Sinfield. Sinfield on to Godden. Back to St. Hilaire. St. Hilaire brings the ball back now within 11 of the line on this last tackle. This is Matthew. Oh, he puts the bum. Crossfield kick from Jamie Matthew, the prop forward. Leeds have it. Cummins is in for try number 17 of the season. Well done, Jamie Matthew. We have found a new kicker. Crossfield kick from the big man. Great work from Leroy Rivet. Newton goes himself from dummy half on the right hand side. Drops off Cummins. Cummins now within 32 metres out from the line here. Newton, Sheridan, a long ball out there to Holroyd, another long ball out to Sinfield. Will he cut himself through the back? And Sinfield will score a try! And he deserves it as Kevin Sinfield. He's had a fantastic game today, celebrated his 18th birthday. He'll come left hand side, finds Matthew, who will offload the football. It's still on here, referee. Yes, it is. Martin Golden within 40 now. Can Leeds come with another try before the end of the game? Brad Godden on this short side comes back to centre field. Does well as Brad Godden going for the hat-trick. Offloads beautifully to Kevin Sinfield. Onto Terry Newton. Terry Newton will score a great try. Oh, what a try from Leeds.
Plenty of danger with this man, but good tackling. Ball comes loose. Referee says play on. Went back. Rivet. Offloads. opportunities here. Harris, this big step, 2 metres away. Newton, Holroyd to Blackmore. Oh, and on the outside, Sterling finds some space and scores 15 metres from the line. Harris finds Morley standing wide. Morley, the big gap. Got Smith to beat. He beats him. Good try by Adrian Morley. Came from a very deep position. Really standing in a second line of attack behind the first line. Blair had quite an impact in the first game between the two clubs. Scored a very good try, in fact. Matthew offloads, ball comes loose, it's picked up by Farrell. Farrell straightens up, gets through. Tracked back, Craven and Smith make the tackle. Leeds go to the right, Harris, quick ball to Holroyd. Spreads on, Blackmore can't handle. Well, referee's wave play on, I'm sure there was a knock on. Looked like a knock on there, but the referee's going to give a try. It must have come off Blackmore's legs. Back to Harris. All track across and put him down. He gets the ball away to McDermott, who gets up to the 30. Still going Leeds. It's Godden. Still good football by Leeds. Plenty of enterprise. Harris steps beautifully round Smith and scores under the post. A Leeds rewarded just for keeping the ball alive then. One or two speculative passes that went to hand. Harris. Leary. Ball comes loose with Newton. The Royal referee waves play on. A bit fortunate for Leeds, but it's a try for Morley. Ball fumbled away, the referee waved play on, and Morley had an easy cross in the corner. Harris, danger every time this man gets the ball. Up on the far side, Rivat. Got an early ball from St-Hilaire. Rivat away. Great run by the young winger, still going, elusive to the end. Can he make it to the line? He can. What a good try. Pure individual effort from Leroy Rivat. Really absolutely nothing on the far side. Got a ball which was probably too early from put to create space on the outside from St-Hilaire.
Yeah, once the final five was already determined and we were in the top two, you know, that was our goal, and we probably backed off a little bit there.
You mentioned players and spots being up for grabs. One person that grabbed his chance was Leroy Rivet. He'd been in the early part of the season, been on loan at Bramley, but he was a youngster and he really wanted to get into the reckoning for the playoffs, and he proved it in that month especially.
Yeah, he did, and you know, unfortunately for Paul Sterling, he took his spot at the back end of the season. Leroy had done his stuff at Bramley, and he'd also played a couple of interchange games for me, but the game against St Helens, he showed that he had the abilities that people had told me about before I got here. And the try he scored when he beat Sullivan and then Newlove against St Helens, I thought, well, this is the bloke, he deserves his position in the team.
Move continues out to the left-hand side. Gibson to Tuilanga. Tuilanga dancing across the face of the Leeds defence. Lawford has another go, gets him at the third attempt. Rowley. Long ball out wide to Bloom. Bloom teasing the Leeds defence. Can he create an opening for himself? Not for himself, but he has done for Bouveng. Try time for Halifax. Jamie Bloom, the supplier for Dave Bouveng.
But the game against Halifax, we were very direct and a bit brutal in that game, and you know, with a bit of genius out of Marcus St-Hilaire, we come away with a good win there.
Yeah, and if we look at those semi-final games individually, Halifax, they'd had the win the week before, but they came to Headingley. They may have had the confidence, but really the start we got off to it and the way we put it on the line to them was very impressive.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I rested 5 players in that last game against Halifax, and you know, looking back on it, it was probably a bit of an error in judgment there in some ways, but having said that, they were all fresh for the following week, and that was the important one, to win that one, because we then went on and Halifax went out the back door.
Said the crowd were getting into this game. They'll certainly get into it now. That was great stuff from the Rhinos, Dean.
It certainly was. I'll tell you what, it couldn't have come at a better time, get it? And it was that man that's been doing it all season, Yeston Harris. There was nothing on. He just went up to a very static defensive line. He'd just taken the ball in 2 tackles before that. So that shows his involvement. That shows his enthusiasm. He's leading from the front, and on his hip was Anthony Farrell.
And I think you called it earlier that it could be even the game breaker, the introduction of Marcus St Hilaire, but a great hit on Carl Harrison.
Yeah, that was a bad mistake by Carl. He'd be very disappointed, being the experienced campaigner he is. He knows how important it is to control that ball.
Only 18 minutes remain in this match before it's 6-all, and if it stays that way after the 8, we will have 10 minutes extra time and then a 10-minute spell of golden point. But Marcus St Hilaire's going to make a mockery of that as he goes through. He tricks and turns, and Marcus St Hilaire, what a run and what a try and what a player. He's a youngster, but he's got a great future in front of him, and he won't score much of a better try than that. He stepped off 1 foot, found a gap, put the gas down and went straight over the line.
But again, that's what players with genuine speed can do, can't they? There was nothing on there. Most people would have stepped the other way, but he had the presence of mind to go in, then away again, and tremendous footwork there, and as I say, great speed to finish the try.
And you have to say as well, how bad does Carl Harrison's mistake look now? From the scrum, Yestin Harris picks up the ball at scrum half.
And following the defeat at Wigan, we were back here at Headingley to face St Helens in the final eliminator. It could be more pressure on the game, but the lads just showed true professionalism out there and performed to their very best on the day it counted.
Yeah, that was the day we needed, you know, everyone to stand up, and we had a great support here, as we always do at Headingley. But the way we played the game was outstanding. We played it pretty tough, but we moved the ball around on them too, which made St Helens a little bit vulnerable at times. We ran in some good tries, and we probably let ourselves down a little bit towards the end with a couple of tries, but that was to be after I took a number of players off injured.
But the way the team performed, it was great confidence knowing we were going into that grand final having absolutely played St Helens off the park.
Yeah, and I think you either want to go into a grand final with some good wins under your belt, or you want to have a bit of a rest. Now, we went in with some good wins under our belt. We can have the rest. But that St Helens one, I was very confident after the way we played the football match. We scored some good tries, we played tough in defence, and we just went out there and dominated St Helens from the start to the finish.
And now, but this is Glanville on the field. Again, Francis Cummins to the line, just anxious at the beat. Francis Cummins all the way, but praise Mark Glanville. What a pass and what a run from Francis Cummins. The Rhinos have scored again, and it's Francis Cummins who's got the try. And what a fabulous try from the Rhinos. And Mark Glanville, if he doesn't walk off with a man of the match prize after tonight's game, I don't know who will.
Well, I was just wondering whether it was going to be Martin Marcella or Mark Glanville, but Glanville answered in superb fashion there. All night he's been making that half break through the tackle, but great support.
And so now we see Marcus St Hilaire on a half break. Good stuff from Marcus St Hilaire there.
Substitutions touched with gold.
And now Sheridan takes his time and gets the ball out to Harris. Harris has only got Rivet outside. It was a hospital pass, but he goes round Sullivan as if he wasn't there.
Oh, yes!
Fabulous try! Leroy Rivet, what a player! What a player! He stood Sullivan up, went round the back of Sullivan, and then stood Newlove up, and Newlove didn't know which week he was in, let alone which player he was tackling. A wonderful try from Leroy Rivet. And again, another man being backed by the faith shown by Phil Kaplan by putting him in the programme.
Well, we were saying as well that substitutions touched with gold, but what about the selection of Leroy Rivet ahead of Paul Sterling? And one thing you've got to say there again is that it was St Hilaire's break from the back that set the position up.
Information about tickets coming up at the end of today's game, but tickets will be on sale tonight after the game to see ticket holders if Leeds win.
Don't tempt fate.
I'll not be tempting fate, but I'm tipping the boys to win now.
Oh, you brave man.
Now, Holroyd looking at John the Show. He feeds inside to Hay. What a pass from Graham Holroyd. Hay out to Godden and into the corner. He was in touch. The touch judge called it. Oh, wonderful work though by Graham Holroyd, really proving his worth in the side there. Great little pass inside to Hay, and he came through there. So they've got a set of 6 inside the St Helens 20. Who would back against the Rhinos score another try here? Oh, Missy played the ball though. Sheridan feeds Matthew. Oh, well.
He's saving his try for the grand final.
Oh, I was waiting for that one. Now Sheridan feeds Harris. Harris has got men outside him. He uses the man Furless outside him. Cummins, who skips inside. What a player Francis Cummins has proved this season. He's got the try, and the Rhinos get up to 38 points to 4 with the conversion to come.
The First Division and the Australian versions of these playoffs this season, the team that's on a roll is the one that's got through to the grand final, but Leeds have not given St Helens a sniff tonight, and all that talk of form team meant nothing.
Now Darren Fleary's got players outside him, comes back inside. This is great work from Orwell outside to Godden. Godden's got Cummins outside him for the hat-trick.
Go for
He's got it! Yes! Francis Cummins has got the hat-trick. A superb effort for the young man. And no one deserves it better than him. And Brad Godden made amends for that earlier pass.
And then it was October 24th, the grand final at Old Trafford. What was the atmosphere like in the dressing room before you went out into that rapturous applause from the crowd?
Well, it was a pretty big build-up to it. You know, we'd been to Old Trafford a couple of times after the Halifax game in the semi-finals, and then we'd been there the day before the grand final. But it was a really big build-up to the game, and the atmosphere in the dressing room was very good. It was calm, but you could tell it meant a little bit more to the players. When you walked out there, with the players walked out in those 2 lines, I don't think I've ever felt or like being involved in a game of football. I felt like playing, but obviously that's not the case. But I was so proud that we were there, and we deserved to be there.
And it was a great reception you received from the Leeds fans, especially behind that goal, where it was great that was where the players were coming from, so they were right out in front of their own fans straight off.
Yeah, tremendous support all year, but when they walked out there, then when they broke ranks and ran and congratulate the crowd for being there, the crowd really lifted, and the atmosphere was nothing I've experienced before.
And to the game, we dominated that first half. Richie Blackmore's try, but for 1 or 2 passes going to hand, we could have led quite comfortably at half time.
Yeah, we could have, and I think you're right, we did dominate the first half, and Richie's try was a real good one. We probably could have come up with a couple more, but it's about taking your chances, particularly grand final day. A little bit disappointed with Jason Robinson sneaking over, but you know he can do that. We've spoken about him all week, but you had to stop him. But unfortunately we went in at 6-4, and I think we had a little bit of an effect on us because we went in a little bit down. Having said that, I still thought at 6-4 we were still in for, with a good shout there, and I still felt we could win the game.
And we'd seen it this year in the Australian grand final as well, whereas the team that had played the most games, they were leading at half-time. Second half, Brisbane were able to kick into gear and perhaps use the rest that they'd had, and it was a similar sort of situation with us.
Yeah, it was, and we didn't control the ball all that well, but that's up to Wigan to stop us doing that sort of thing. But the conditions I didn't think suited us. The heavy rain sort of helped Wigan a little bit. That's not to say they didn't deserve what they got. But I felt we were still in with a good shout. I mean, with 8-4 with minutes to go, we were still in there. Wigan had the ball for 5 minutes longer than us in the game, which is a hell of a long time in a rugby league match, particularly a grand final. But unlike the one in Australia, where Brisbane just annihilated Canterbury, we were still in there for a long time. And we were a bit unlucky we couldn't jag something out of that and come away with a win.
Harris is a half break. He's got Powell outside him. He's still going. He's got Sheridan and Powell either side of him. He makes it up to the 10. Great work from the man of steel, Yestin Harris. This is Ryan Sheridan. Sheridan's got Blackmore outside him for the line. And the first try of the game goes to the Kiwi, Richard Blackmore. And what a try it was. Created by Yestin Harris and sealed by Richie Blackmore. The man is battling a pain barrier with his hernia injury, but he doesn't care a jot about that now. And it will put the pressure on. As Paul Johnson comes onto the field of play, Danny Moore hobbles off. Looks like there's an injury to that knee which kept him out for a few games towards the end of the Super League regular season. Jason Robinson, he breaks through, he's got a score for Wigan! Magnificent try by Jason Robinson. He scores after 37 minutes. We said it would be the best time to score. You don't get players like that every day. He's one of the best wingers in World Rugby League, Union, All League. Robinson scores for Wigan. It's Wigan 4, Leeds 4. The music erupts. The Wigan fans chant. And Phil, we've got a cracking game in hand now. Well, the former Leeds ball boy, Jason Robinson, makes them pay yet again. JJB Super League champions. The clock begins to tick. Farrell steps back. He kicks that ball towards the post. It goes straight between. Wigan are the champions. They lead by 10 points to 4. It's that man Andy Farrell who puts the points between the posts. And Wigan are going to be the JJB Super League champions. Andy Farrell will kick the ball back into play. No, he won't. Wigan are the champions. They jump up and down. They win by 10 points to 4. They celebrate.
And now, with hindsight, looking back on 1998, what are your reflections, what are your memories of the season?
Well, I think there's a couple of good ones, and the Bradford game at Odsal stands out, where we really believed in ourselves that we could stand up to teams and come over the top of them. The win at Sheffield, after 20 minutes, I thought this wasn't our day, we shouldn't be here. And the 2 wins against Wigan, one here and one away, you know, the league double, they were great wins, and you know, there's a hell of a lot of good memories and good players. The thing I really like about the team is a great team spirit. You know, they're all good, a bunch of lads, and I think we're going to get better.
Well, even though Leeds emerged without any silverware, it was still a tremendous season. There were some golden moments, the 2 wins over Wigan, the game at Sheffield where Justin Harris kicked an unforgettable last-minute penalty goal. The 2 victories over St Helens were real gutsy affairs, the 2 at home. Magnificent win over at St Helens. And it must be a long time since Leeds have gone through a league season without losing west of the Pennines.